What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. I hope you had a good weekend overall, got a chance to play some games or get some stuff done. We had a lot of fun here on the channel. We did, of course, the usual Spawncast, which you can listen to on SoundCloud and iTunes and everything right now if you missed it. And we also took a look at Black Ops 4. I did my thoughts on the closed beta currently and kind of where it is. And we also took apart a 2DS to take a look at how Nintendo can make that system as cheap as they do. You might be a little surprised with one of the biggest secrets, I guess, about the system. Now, today we have some fun stuff to get into because we do technically have our first actual, I guess, direct, technically, right? Since E3, that was announced. We're going to go over that and what we can expect from that. And we got a new announcement for a game console. That's right, we have a new game console now that I guess some people can look forward to. We're going to go over all of that. First, though, let's start with some quick news, and I can't believe we're about to talk about this. I can't believe I'm about to say this. Tekken 7 at EVO, which took place, obviously, over the weekend here, where everyone kind of gathered, and a lot of fighting games took place, and the best people in the world show up and duke it out and everything. But a lot of companies will show up, like Bandai Namco, for example, and talk about some of their fighting games, like Tekken. There's a new season coming up, Season 2 of DLC and new characters, and one of them is a little out there. I don't think anyone expected this. Negan from The Walking Dead. That's right, Negan from The Walking Dead is going to be a part of Tekken 7, which is very weird. Now, two other characters are also revealed, Anna Williams and Lei Wulong, but the big one it's gotta be Negan from Walking Dead. How weird is this? Apparently there are gonna be 3 more characters showing up. They're unannounced currently, and we'll hear about them later, but Negan from Walking Dead? We didn't even see any gameplay of him. We pretty much just saw basically a silhouette of him with his trademark bat. Some phrases he's used in, obviously, the TV show, and that was kind of it. I have a feeling that they will release a gameplay trailer of him later. It's just weird. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about this. Is this out of left field for you? Because it sure was for me. Also, we had talked about the open beta for Dragonball FighterZ previously. We now have a date, and it's actually available to download on the eShop for the Nintendo Switch right now. You can actually go preload it, get it ready, because that beta is starting actually pretty soon. It's starting this week. It's going to be kicking off 9 p.m. Pacific time on August 9th. So you can look forward to that. That is actually coming up towards the end of this week. And then, of course, if you're on the East Coast, it would be at midnight, August 10th. And that is basically Friday. So starting Friday, you're going to be able to log in and play. And we'll see how well this game plays on the Nintendo Switch. I'm curious. I don't really play the game that much previously. I'm not the best at fighting games. I don't really ever get into fighting games. Evan is pretty into fighting games, and he'll actually be able to check it out because he's been playing Dragonball FighterZ for a while on the PC. So he could probably give us a good take on how it controls, how it plays, how it performs, and we'll look to him for probably a video on it to just give us an idea of how the beta ran. And you guys know I really like to talk about little secrets and Easter eggs and stuff that are found in games, even if they're a little older. This one, though, not very old technically, because they did just re-release it on the Switch. That's Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. Now, we know Retro Studios made it. Retro Studios also worked on Metroid Prime, so they hid a few little things in there from Samus and from her ship that was kind of in the background in the level, and data miners found that there was a little Metroid that was in the game, but no one had found it, at least not until now. Actually, a few days ago, someone actually found where this Metroid was. It's technically in an underwater level where you're kind of swimming around, and you technically backtrack through a part that will actually injure you, and you have the Metroid that floats up from the bottom. This is actually found by Shane Marches, who did show us all of this on Twitter with a video and everything, and it's kind of cool to see this just kind of pop up after so long. Now, if you want to try it for yourself, they put up a little guide for it, and it's actually in level 4-3, Miss Abyss, and you can check it out for yourself. It's there, and what a cool little thing to have. Like I said, I know a lot of people picked out Samus's ship right away in the background, but to have something like this, and someone finally found it just from exploring the levels, it has been confirmed that it's in the Wii U and the Switch version. So if you picked it up recently on the Switch and you've played past that part, you can go back and check it out for yourself. And guys, with some of the smaller stuff out of the way, let's get into the bigger stuff. We're starting right away, right now, with Windjammers. It is coming to the Nintendo Switch, and I am very excited, and I'm going to tell you why. I play it on the PS4 quite a bit. My problem is
No one else seems to. No, I go on there, and some nights I'll kind of just pop it on, and I'll play a few rounds against the computer, and then I'll go online, and I'll say, all right, let me search for someone else to play against, and it's pretty consistent in that it is a countdown, and that's it, or it'll count up. And usually if it gets to 5 minutes, I just back out because I'm not finding anyone. Now, the good thing is, recently I've been able to find people because the game dropped down to $1.50 on the PS4 and the Vita. So I'm just putting it out there, $1.50. I'm not looking for anyone to play with, but, I matchmake here and there, and it's $1.50, so, check it out. It's coming to the Switch, though, which is cool. As far as we know, it's coming later this year, but there's no actual release date. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Windjammers, it's technically kind of like air hockey, sort of, with Ultimate Frisbee. It's a lot of fun. If you've watched any of, the Spawncasts we've done, Evan and I have brought it up. If we go to conventions, we'll look for that arcade cabinet because it's at quite a few of them. And they'll even play it at times at, EVO and stuff. They'll play Windjammers. It's just a really fun, very competitive, but fun, very fun game. And when .emu brought it back on the PS4 and the Vita, I was really excited. And I had a feeling it was eventually going to come to the Switch just because that audience has been, indie games have been very popular with the Switch audience. And trust me, Windjammers fits perfectly. I mean, perfectly. Tabletop mode, split Joy-Cons. You don't need a lot of buttons to play it. This is going to be great. I'm actually just excited to have somebody to play with because I think there are actually going to be a lot of people. I played Disc Jam on the Switch because that was the next best thing, and I got a match every single time. So I'm looking forward to this only because I'm going to finally have people to play with. And again, $1.50 on the PS4 and the Vita, just throwing it out there. Next up, let's talk about the next Nintendo Direct, technically. It's going to be a Smash Direct, which I guess is somewhat different from, I guess we kind of just had a Smash Direct, right? No, that was E3. Never mind. We're going to have a Smash Direct, a Smash Bros. Direct that's coming up, and people are pretty excited for it because generally when we see these Directs, that probably means a new character is getting announced, which is what everyone wants to see because there's a lot of rumored characters, which we're going to get into. But first, though, let's get into this Direct so you know when it is. It's actually happening very soon. It's actually happening August 8th. So in 2 days, Wednesday, we'll be able to check this out, 7 a.m. Pacific time, 10 a.m. Eastern time, and this is going to be a lot of fun. Now, I don't know how long this is going to last. It could be a 15-minute thing, but I have some things we should be looking out for. One, obviously, a new character. I think that's pretty clear. They could throw a curveball, who knows? I think there are some front runners right now, as Simon Belmont seems to be the big rumored character. I think that would get people to jump out of their seats pretty heavy if that happened. And we can also look forward to possibly a single-player mode of some kind that they add in and kind of detail here. The big thing that I think is going to be announced here, and I think it's going to be really cool when it does get announced, is a beta of some kind. Now, we've seen this trend with Nintendo a lot recently, right? We just got done doing obviously the Mario Tennis one before Mario Tennis came out, and I wonder if Smash would have a beta further in advance than what we've seen with other ones. We've had the ARMS, we've had ARMS Test Punch, we had the Test Fire with Splatoon, we had the Mario Tennis tournament that they did, and this, it makes sense. Smash is going to be stressed heavily online. Day one when that comes out, tons of people. That could be a 1 million unit seller in the first 2 days or something. It's going to be a big deal when that game drops, and everyone's going to be signing in all at once. I want a smooth experience, so I would like to see them stress test this thing well in advance. Seriously, we'll all get on there. I'm sure everyone will want to play it, and they can get millions of people on board to play it for free, obviously, ahead of time with a little application. I think that would be an announcement, and I think they're going to give us a date. I'd like to see it take place in September, but I wouldn't be surprised they announce it for the beginning of November or something, just to give them a month in advance before the launch. But it'd be really cool to see that because I think people get really, really excited for it. Other than that, though, it's anyone's guess, and I'm curious what you guys think about what could be at this Smash Bros. Direct. Sakurai himself's going to be running it, so it's going to be fun. I guess it's going to be similar to what he did at E3, where 25 minutes was taken over by Smash. So people are like, what do we need another Direct for? Well, they're going to show characters, single player probably, and a beta of some kind. That's my guess here. But let me know what you guys think about this, and what character do you think they're going to drop on people on Wednesday? Do you think we have one or two characters? I'm curious what you guys think, because I mean, it could be anything, and it's always fun to guess at these kind of things and see if we get it right. Also, yes, I will be live streaming it, so feel free to come by. We'll probably start 15 to 20 minutes ahead of time, so before then. So if it's 10 a.m. Eastern, look around 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. We'll have some fun on stream and hopefully see some cool stuff, some new characters, and hopefully a beta. That'd be so cool if we could do a beta ahead of time and try out Smash completely. I mean, it was already playable at E3, so why not? And in our last bit of news, let's talk about this new game console, because it could show us a little window into the next generation systems, because it is using AMD's newer architecture in Ryzen, which is pretty cool, and it's also using a Vega-based GPU. So this is using pretty much cutting edge stuff from AMD currently. Now, we do hear about AMD working on things like Navi, which one of the rumors is that has actually been them developing a chipset for the PS5 this entire time. But let's talk about this console. The only issue I have right now is it appears to only be launching in China, and that's kind of disappointing, because I would like to see how this would actually work out, but it is an SoC that AMD has pretty much developed. It's a system on a chip. It's fairly low power compared to some of their other offerings, and it's going to be very similar, and I actually think even a little more powerful than what the PS4 Pro is currently, mostly because the CPU side is going to be completely trumped by this little system. And this currently is called the Subor. You're actually seeing it here. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. It's actually a pretty thin, white-looking system that they have set up. Now there's going to be a Windows-based system that you can get as well, and then this game console one, it's going to have a custom OS and everything on it as well. And what's interesting about this, it's using Ryzen. It's going to have a 4-core, 8-thread CPU that's actually clocked at 3 gigahertz. Keep in mind, as you're seeing a little chart here, the PS4 Pro is actually clocked significantly lower, but it does have more CUs or compute units for its GPU than the Subor, but the Subor is actually clocked higher on the GPU side as well, and the math works out to where this comes out to 3.99, so about 4 teraflops, so only about 0.2 lower than the PS4 Pro, but that CPU, the Ryzen CPU, is much, much more capable than that old laptop-based Jaguar CPU, and it's very interesting to see this. They also paired it with 8 gigabytes of GDDR5, which is less than the Xbox One X. I don't think this is going to be something they would compare to the Xbox One X, just because the X is stacked very heavily. But the Subor is just interesting to kind of look at next to that PS4, because the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X are, of course, CPU limited, where the Subor would not be. It would actually be pretty balanced, actually, if you look at it across the board. And it's very interesting to see a system with a custom chipset kind of compared, and this one is more current technically than both the Pro and the X. And it's going to come down to how well can it play games, since it's not CPU limited. Could it get, with a custom OS that is very optimized, could it get better 4K results than the PS4 Pro? I think it could. I do. I think this could be a better 4K system than the Pro if it actually has a good OS that's customized to work well for it. I don't know if it would work that well with Windows. Windows is not optimized for any one piece of hardware. It's pretty much set up to work with all hardware. And unfortunately, I don't think this is going to leave China at like a mainstream level, but I do expect places like Eurogamer to get one. And honestly, if I could, I would try to get one of these. So maybe I'll look into it. It'd be fun to take it apart and see how they put it all together and everything. I just have to see how I would get that shipped, or through customs or whatnot. But hey, maybe we'll take a shot at it, see if we can get it moved over here. It's just cool to see, because this could be similar. Maybe that CPU, anyway, could be something similar to what Microsoft or Sony would use in their next consoles, just with much bigger GPUs, I guess, much more capable GPUs. We'll have to see, but hey, a new console, there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for Newswave today. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, guys. Really helps out. If not, hit the dislike. Leave comments down below about everything we talked about today, whether it's that Smash Bros. Announcement for this Direct. Maybe you're excited to see Nintendo starting to finally make some announcements about some Directs, because we assume that there's going to be an Indies Direct and then a big Direct, and who knows, but it sounds like Nintendo's kind of waking up again after E3, since they kind of took most of July off at this point. Let me know what you think about that down below, though. What about Negan in Tekken 7? I have a feeling a lot of people are confused, maybe excited, intrigued even about it. I mean, what's his moveset going to be? I don't know. It could be fun to kind of see how they kind of work him in to that, I guess, to that series. I don't really know. It's still weird. It's still kind of caught me off guard as I'm talking about it now. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.